Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. It's Doug here, getting ready for episode 2 of series 2 of Zombicide the Green Horde. More of the Barbarians, where we are just entering this village where we need to collect dragon bile and also get some cool artifacts that are going to disappear on us when we go on to the next adventure. But for right now, we are going to get started, and we just have a couple of zombies coming on the board. If you watch, please, if you want to know what's going on, watch the last episode. That's the best thing I can tell you. I did a lot of explanation. I did some story build-up and stuff like that. So if you're not sure what's going on, go back to the first episode of Series 2. If you want to go back further, even go back and watch the first series. That would be awesome. Anyway, we're going to get right to it. I'm not going to waste any time. I didn't have any particular errors or mistakes that I had to correct. Someone did ask me in the first series that that I was not giving out 5 experience points for objectives. That is true. That scenario called for that not being the case. So I didn't remember that being something particularly true of the game where you couldn't get points for the objectives, but there are some scenarios where you don't. That was one of them. And also, right before we get started, I do need to take this noise token off board, though. They will be much more important in this scenario than in the last one, so I need to be more careful with them. And as you know, we already have a big, gruesome zombie Green Horde orc abomination on the board. It's pretty terrifying. It is. But we're going to get right into it and start to try and get to our objectives. So I think first off, I'm going to start. The first player is going to be Rolf, who is there with Sigrun, and he's going to pick up that item that's there, actually. Well, maybe Sigrun will do it. Yeah, I think Sigrun's actually. She's going to be our first player. Rolf's okay with the 2 short swords right now, but we need a better weapon for her. She's just got that spiked starter bow, which is okay, but with all these hedges and everything, I don't think it'll be very effective. So let's go to Sigrun. She's up here at the top, and she is going to claim this in the same way that you claim an objective, except that you don't get experience points for it. So for her first action, she is going to take this card. What is it going to be? Spiked armor. Oh, that is awesome! So happy she got that. Armor 4+. All zombies attacking the survivor at range 0 suffer 1 damage after the attack. The survivor gains the experience. Well, Sigrun is about to become an experience-getting machine. So I put that in her armor slot on her board, like so. See, that's the slot for armor type gear, and then of course she has her plenty of arrows and her bow, so she's doing all right, and that was really a heck of a find. I like that. And then she's going to continue on and move toward, I think we're going to move away from that spawn point and move directly south, where we can kind of shield our giant friend if he gets into trouble. Now he's going to man the trebuchet. The problem is, as much as that gives him great visibility, everyone can also see him, so all creatures have line of sight on him regardless of where they are. So we're going to make sure that the spawn points have something else to target on, or at least can get intercepted on their way. So Sigrun's next action will be to pass through here. That requires only 1 movement point, so that's her second action. However, we have to roll, and man, I rolled that die way across the table to 5, but we did not get a surprise zombie there. And then last but not least, I think she's going to continue her move. She might just stay there. We'll see. Nah, she can move a little further. I think she'll move right here. That way, she can, if something comes in that spawn point and breaks through the hedge, she can at least get a shot on it before anything terrible happens. That was Sigrun's turn. We have a lot going on up here in the corner. First off, we got Hig, who is in the rooms there. So for his first action, he is going to do a search because he can. He might as well. He's in that room. He might as well get it done. Let's do a search. He gets a torch. Well, that actually could be quite useful. He'll just put that in his offhand for the moment until he gets something better. Because we are, in fact, searching for dragon bile, right? So that could end up being quite useful for us. So for his second action, he'll simply go 2 and then move to here for his third action. We got to make our way toward those zombies so they don't go after our giant. Okay, next up, I know these turns are going quick, and that's fine, but next up we are going to have Hildy. Let me see, what's the range on... No, you can't get to him. Hildy is going to go next, or Hild, however you pronounce her name. She is way up here with her shield and sword. She's going to go 1, 2, 3, and that's it. She's just heading to pull those beasties there on her way to this point right here, which will be useful. Tagging along with her is going to be Brannock. He is our dwarf, and he's coming along with the dwarven hammer. He's going to go 1, 2, 3 as well and just move up into there. Now, they don't really have any special abilities, so to speak, other than the fact they're better armed than the rest of the players. And then last but not least, we're going to have Rolf go for this turn. He's going to make his moves. Rolf is going to pass through the hedge for 1, which means we have to roll the die, unfortunately. And we rolled a 3, so no problem there. He will pass through this hedge for 2, no problem, and then move to here for 3. So he is spreading out, and if really, actually I haven't moved Finnerton either. If things get really hairy up there, Finnerton can leave the ballista, or the trebuchet rather, but he's moving to it right now. That's all he gets to do is move 1 to there, because his next thing is going to be to launch it at the abomination that's coming our way. Now he could see Finnerton over the buildings, lumbering across the field there to get to the trebuchet. So he has line of sight on that character, which means that the abomination does, which means that the abomination will be heading in his direction. Okay, that is it for the good guys. All the heroes have moved. We've gone all over the place. So next up we're going to do some zombie activation. There's only a couple on the board to activate right now. First we have these 2 walkers. They're going to stumble out of the brush here to get into the way of our heroes, but those guys are going to mow them down, I have a feeling, and get into that room to get the next objective. Yeah, and one of the reasons I'm having Rolf come here is because that way we'll have 3 characters meet up. If you didn't notice, this is a door here. This is a really long room. There's going to be tons of zombies in there, so we need to be prepared to fight them, if you can see that over there. Then last but not least, we just have the abomination. He comes roaring into the water here, jumps down into the water area, splashing up water. Everybody can see him. Finnerton's looking out over the field with his giant height and can see the abomination coming their way. He's warning the rest of them, telling them that this is about to take place. But now we have to go on to some zombie spawns, and we're going to start with the farthest one up north. I have the big giant deck right here. Let's see, I think I've cut it a couple of times, but let's see. We're still in blue, thank God. We're almost out of blue because someone picked up an objective. So we're going to have 2 orc walkers up there. I'll get the miniatures out in a moment. Then over here at this spawn point, right, oh, and then also one in the horde. Then we're also going to have one appear here. What do we get there? An orc fatty and one in the horde. And then down south over here, let's see. Yeah, we're going to have one appear right there. Okay, let's see what we get. Another orc walker and one in the horde. So let me get all those figures out and we'll get the board populated. Okay, there we have our 2 up north. We're going to take this guy. He is going to move over to the horde where he is going to start to populate that area. Then over here we have the fatty that appears there. One orc fatty, but that one's going to the horde, so that's going to make that worse for us. And then over here we had 1 orc walker appear and one of those is going into the horde. So there is our major dilemma right there. Oops, almost made a mistake there. He actually appears here, not there. But that is going to be it for the zombies. Now we go back around to the player's turn, and we might as well get right into some action. Let me see. Do we want to kill some big bad abominations first, or do we want to kill some orcs first? Let's see how well our guy Finnerton can do with the trebuchet. I don't think this is breaking the rules, guys. I think this is right. Now, in the rules, it says if you're in the trebuchet, and for instance, I'll just borrow Brannerton for a moment, and another player is right here, let's say, or even here, and has line of sight on the target of the trebuchet, it means that the trebuchet only needs a 3+ to hit. Finnerton has line of sight on the entire outdoor battlefield, and the only thing he can't do is see into indoors. So I have to assume that with the trebuchet, he only needs a 3 because of his special ability, which would make some sense. Now that means we have to do the boulder, because that's the only one that does enough damage to kill an abomination. And it says, see here, target zone at 2+ or the horde, no line of sight required. Accuracy 3. Plus, if any survivor had line of sight, well, he himself has line of sight. So I'm going to go with that. I think he only needs a 3 to kill this guy. So Finnerton is swiveling this thing around. He's going to get the trebuchet going. He's going to launch it. A big old boulder is going to come swinging down at the abomination. Roar, we're going to see if Finnerton can pull it off. Oh, he does not. Boom! Boulder splashes into the water. Ah, so close. Finnerton, you'll have to get him next turn. It requires 3 actions to fire the trebuchet, so that's it. Everybody hears it, but nobody knows exactly what's going on. There's just this loud ruckus in the town now as Finnerton gets ready to launch another volley of the trebuchet. Okay, now let's go to our two heroes that are going to be confronting some baddies this turn. One of the main reasons I picked these two characters to come this way first is because they have 2-point weapons, and if big baddies come from the spawn points, they can do enough damage to kill fatties and that. So I think we're going to go with Branagh first. He is going to jump into here ahead of our Lady B. The reason for that is because Hildy is already at... Wait. Did I mess that up? I think I did. I think it's Sigrun who's already at... Yeah. I did. Sigrun is at 6 points already. So I got to be a little careful there with her. That's why she's guarding the hedge right now, because I don't want to go into the yellow quite yet. It doesn't really matter then. So I'm going to have our original Barbarian step in first. She's going to step in first to see if she can slay some of these orcs. Orc zombies, and we're going to get her out. Remember, she's got a North sword, so she actually gets to roll 3 dice against these guys. Pretty cool. Once again, she gets to roll 3 dice because she's got the North shield and the North sword. It says starting equipment. Gain +2 dice if a North shield is also equipped. Now, I'm still a little confused. No one's corrected me on this, but I still think it's only 3 dice, even though this says add +1 die to another equipped melee weapon. That would give her a total of 4 dice, but I don't think that's the intent. I think it's supposed to be 3 dice. So let's see what we get here. Wow, she actually missed with her first strike, so that's her second action. She totally whiffed because she's a 4 or better, and she rolled 3, 3, and a 1. So she's going to strike again, in which case she would have killed 3, but she does kill both of the zombie walkers that are there. So these 2 walkers come off the board. She smashed them down. Her weapon does not make any noise in an attack. That's great, but she does gain 2 experience points. There she goes. Okay, now let's move on to our guy Branagh. Branagh's going to throw caution to the wind. He's going to step up here and bang into the door that's there. He's got his hammer, which is going to roll a single die. He needs a 4 or better to break in the door. And it is rather noisy. A 2, so his second action fails. His third action fails. He cannot bang in the door. Regardless of banging in the door or not, he puts 2 noise tokens there. He's really frustrated with himself now. That was not a good showing for Branagh, man. Even with that big dwarven hammer, he couldn't beat the door in. Wow, dude. That's a shame. Alright, well, that is it for their turn. So they are unfortunately going to not open up that room quite yet, which means they're not going to quite catch up to our guy, what's it, Rolf. However, we're going to go to Hig next. Hig's up here. He's going to go 1, 2, and with his telekinetic blast, which it has a range of 0, actually of 0 to 1, so he can only get to there. He'll just move in with the rest of them for now. So he moves up 3. He's caught up. That's it for him. That is his turn. Next up, we have Rolf. Rolf is simply going to come through the hedge. We're going to have to roll a die for that. We roll 3, so there's no surprise walker zombies. And he sees this going on down here, but you know what? I'm not too cool about kicking that door in yet. That could put him in a bad way. Oh, what the heck. We're barbarians, right? We're barbarians. He comes in and goes, "Ah, you guys should be farther ahead," and kicks the door in. He has 2 short swords. He needs a 4 or better. See if he can get it. A 2 for a second action. He bangs on the door. That makes a noise token. I don't think I want to take the risk of having him do that for his third action in case there's some runners right in front of him that would be able to run in and take. He'll leave it alone. That's it. He will just completely waste his last action. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Okay, next up, we have Sigrun up there. But I wish there was something in the rules that you could do with your actions when you don't want to take, like, prepare or get ready to do something, because I don't want to move her. And I'll tell you why. Because those 2 orcs are going to come her way. And I think that the shortest route would be through the hedge. So I think I can move them through the hedge because it's the same distance either direction. Normally they would split up, but I think that's a dumb rule, actually. I think they'd split. I don't know. I'll do it. I'll take the rules as they are, but she's going to hold tight. She's going to stay right there and just wait for them to come to her. So her turn is basically wasted. But that's going to be the end of the players' turns. That's all the players, I believe. Yeah, I did all 3. Yep, okay. And Sigrun's going to wait to shoot the bow at the zombies that come through the spawn point up there. Actually, did I not? No, they spawned this turn. That's why they haven't moved. All right, let's move on to the zombie activation phase. Since we're already focused up here, we'll make this move. This one will move here, and this one will move here. Why is that? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So they split there and move in that direction, which will give Sigrun a chance to kill at least one of them this turn. Then down here, this fatty will move into the group. That's great because we have 2 people that can kill him. And then down here, the abomination will lurch back up onto the dry area of the street right there while this orc zombie will move that direction. And that is going to be it for the activations. They're starting to come our way. This is bad. But now it's time to do some spawning. We're going to start up north again, just like before. Okay, let me get the spawn deck out. We got it right here. It's really thick. I got some extra baddies in here just to have some fun with it. We're still in blue, so this fatty burster does not come out. That means nothing appears up north. Sigrun's going to get bored. Okay, and then over here we're going to have none, because we're still in blue, so nothing happens there. Wow, we're having a turn start off like last turn, which means it's going to get really bad for us late in the game. We plow through these cards that don't do anything, and then oh, we have the Countess Temeria or Count Tremere. What's he? He's a special necromancer. It says normal necromancer rules plus discard an equipment card from each survivor during the end phase. What? Deal damage 1 to Count Tremere. If he escapes, each survivor must discard 1 equipment card, if applicable. Okay, normal necromancer's rules plus discard 1 equipment card from each survivor during the end phase. Jeez. Okay, that's not going to happen this turn, but he does bring in a spawn point. Does that mean just anywhere on the board? He just like automatically, magically takes their stuff away from him? Anyway, we have a necromancer spawn point right here, which I have to spawn another card for. And it is going to be, oh my, yeah, it says another abomination, but I don't think we can do that. What happens if you, because there's only 1 abomination in the game, does that mean he activates? I don't remember. I'm going to check. Yes, I was right. That gives the orc abomination another activation. That actually kind of puts us in a pickle. And then I got to get out this special necromancer who I think is going to be bombarded by the trebuchet so we don't lose weapons next turn. Well, there he is. He is unfortunately all by himself. What a total waste that's going to be. I'll leave his card out because he does some weird things. But that is just a complete waste. Now, if I had drawn something, I think if I also put some things in the Horde, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to look at that. I don't remember the Orc Necromancer does something with the Horde. Each time a Orc Necromancer card is drawn, it says Orc Necromancer. I'm going to assume that's true because it says all normal Necromancer rules. We're going to spawn a Walker, a Runner, and a Fatty. So I got a Walker in the Horde. I'll grab a Runner and a Fatty and put it in the Horde. The Horde is getting quite nasty at this point. We'll see, take a look there. That is the Horde growing on us. And I think we're going to end it there, guys. That seems like a good place to end this episode. We've done quite a bit. We've taken a couple turns of the heroes, and we've gotten into some trouble. Some things are happening. And unfortunately, I wanted to use the trebuchet on our abomination there, but now I'm really concerned about the powers of this. I'm going to look up this Count Temere, and make sure that I'm doing that right, because he, that ability sounds really weird. It just says, plus discard an equipment card from each survivor during an end phase. So that means if I don't, well wait, the end phase, so are they going to lose 1 now? I'm really confused about that, guys. They are going to lose an equipment item. Well, the good news is most of them have something to lose, but some of them don't. I mean, this is really bad. Can they lose their base equipment? I mean, some of them have like plenty of arrows and stuff to get rid of. I don't know. I got to look that up. I'll figure that out by the next episode so that we can do that. But I think that seems like a really silly thing. It says normal Necromancer rules plus discard an equipment card from each player during an end phase. Deal damage 1 to Count Tremere. If he escapes, each survivor must discard an equipment card. His card is confusing to me. help me out, guys. If you know how his card works, let me know. I don't understand the rules on that. Do they just start losing equipment? And if they do, does he take damage and automatically kill himself? I mean, I don't understand. Just here, I'll let you read it. Normal Necromancer rules, plus discard an equipment card from each survivor during an end phase. Which end phase? Deal damage 1 to Count Tremere. When? I guess the moment that they lose their equipment, he takes a point of damage and dies. I don't know, guys. Help me out with that one. I may just swap him out for a normal Orc Necromancer because I don't understand his card. Just so you know. If someone could explain it to me, I will take it. Anyway, guys, we're going to end it there. It's a great place to end it because I need your help. We'll talk again about it next turn, so please give me some feedback on that, and we'll see what we get. I may swap him out for a regular Orc Necromancer because it's too weird. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I will talk to you in the next episode.